All right, a little clunky getting started, but this is our UNLV sports science conversation, and we have an alum from our kinesiology program. So great to have Meredith Gutowski on. Hi, Meredith. How's it going?
Hey, how are you, Dr. Mercer?
Oh, it was so cool to run into you unexpectedly when we were doing
Hmm.
that rugby combine, and I didn't know you were at that location working, and it was
Yeah,
really great to reconnect with you.
same. I know it'd been a minute.
Yeah, yeah, it has, and this is really neat to have you on. I really appreciate you taking time to do it because
Mhm.
this is just so valuable to see where our students end up going in this broad area of what we call sports science. So maybe we'll start with just that. What is the position that you have now, and what does your job look like?
Yeah, so I am now a certified and licensed athletic trainer. The company that I work for is called Limitless Sports Medicine. Their main hub is inside of Game Changer Sports Academy. So primary role there is I'm just one of their full-time athletic trainers. My position's unique because I kind of get to do a little bit of everything, which helps with my, I guess, let's say ADHD, so to speak. So, one of the things I get to do is I get to cover at the Sports Academy at Game Changers. So I provide their students that are kind of middle school age range that are trying to get to that next level. So I provide athletic training services for them. I also get to cover outlier high schools that say haven't had athletic trainers in a few years or ever.
Hmm.
So some of them are like Sandy Valley, Indian Springs, Virgin Valley. So being able to help those smaller communities and having a medical provider there for their sports has been super important. Also, kind of help with game day coverages at some smaller charter schools, as well as tournament coverages. And I actually am the athletic trainer now for one of the junior hockey teams we have here in town. Um, Tier three, they're called the Vegas Thunderbirds, but now I believe their name's transitioning into the Henderson Force.
Oh, that's awesome. Well,
Yep.
let's, this is so important what you're doing because, our area is rich with what we would call health deserts, where
Hmm.
people don't always have good access to healthcare. And
Hmm.
athletic training is often a gateway for student athletes to get healthcare, but then maybe even ask questions about, family members and what have you. So
Hmm.
that's really neat that you're going out to a wide variety of communities.
Yeah, and again, like I think it's been super important for them because a lot of them say have had issues or injuries in the past and they just haven't had the resources.
Yeah.
So we're kind of becoming like a home hub for them for a little bit of everything, not just emergency services, but also being able to help with maybe old injuries where we can help them rehab, strength and conditioning, things like that.
Oh, I love it. And I always think of athletic training as you're the first responder in the sport world. So
Yes.
you are out there on the field anytime anything happens.
Hmm. That's
So
correct.
let's go through your academic training to get to where you are. Let's
Oh boy.
start with yeah. Let's. I know it wasn't a straight path, which is great because
So
where you are now is a fantastic position.
yes, so I kind of did everything I would say a little bit backwards. So going into college, I just knew I wanted to do something within a sports world, a sports realm. I was super into sports growing up, super into fitness, so I knew I just wanted to do something with that. Wasn't sure what, but just something.
Hmm.
So went to after I finally transferred to UNLV. I got my undergrad degree just in kinesiology. With that, I kind of went out and just got various jobs. Say at Lifetime Fitness, I worked for a little bit, and then I'd worked within like the golf industry, stuff like that. Again, kind of around fitness and sports, but didn't really get to utilize my degree that much. So I was like, what can I do to take that next step?
Hmm.
So then I ended up back at UNLV, actually working under you as my academic advisor.
Yay.
Yep. And I did my emphasis for kinesiology and biomechanics. Um, I kind of liked that realm of taking the science and putting it into sport and looking at all the different movements in what we do. So did that and actually got to start the satellite lab with you guys out there at Lake Las Vegas.
Hmm.
So got into that and graduated from that, and I believe 18. And still, it like wasn't enough. I was still doing some stuff within the golf realm because we all know golf was just my passion at that point.
Yeah.
But then as I was doing some training on the side, I was noticing some of my clients were starting to ask me questions of, "Oh, we're working out, but you know what? This is starting to hurt. I've been feeling like I'm getting weak here, or I've had this injury and I don't really know what to do for it." So I wanted to be able to take that next step in helping people. So kind of full circle, I was finishing up my master's degree and was talking to Dr. Samuel now, um, about that. And then she kind of pointed in the direction of, well, have you ever thought about athletic training? And I was like, that term's been thrown out at me, but I never really, I guess, thought about it as a career.
Hmm.
So looked into it and looked into the program there at UNLV and was like, it kind of makes sense. I get to kind of bring, my passion of sports and fitness, but then wanting to take that extra step and helping with injuries and helping prevent them and how to do rehab and stuff and put it together. So then I actually went back to UNLV then to enter into the athletic training program. And then I finished that degree in, I believe, 2022.
Wow.
So
Wow.
a
I
little bit
love it.
backwards, but
Yeah. It's a great message for students to hear that very few people have a straight path through academics to a job. And so this is what's really important that I'm hearing is that you're always trying to follow your passion for sport and for helping people. And
mhm,
then it's just a matter of figuring out, well, what is the best path for that? And the different
yeah,
experiences you have certainly seem to lead to that.
yeah. And the good thing about kind of the opportunity I have now with where I'm working is, like I said, I get to do a little bit of everything, which is nice. I get to work sometimes, that front line on the sideline to helping in the gym at the sports academy to helping with clients rehab in the clinic. And I actually also do a little bit of biomechanics
Mm.
work there. So I get to kind of dabble my master's degree and stuff that I learned there in it as well. So I kind of found something where I kind of in full circle mode with everything.
I love it. And that was going to be one of my questions is what does your day to day look like? But it doesn't sound like a day to day, and any 2 days are the same.
Yeah, no, I kind of jump all around, but I like it. That is what kind of keeps me like motivated and wanting to go to work because it's not always going to be the same day, right?
Mhm. Oh, I love it. Well, and that's exciting. And because
Hmm.
it's nothing routine and you're always going to be doing something a little bit different and
Yeah.
working in a different area. So let's go back to your academic training. And I always
Hmm.
like to hear, you talked a little bit about biomechanics, but courses that were transformative for you that sort of helped sort of define the direction that you wanted to go to.
So I think it was a few of them. So not only taking the first biomechanics course with you, that kind of struck my interest in wanting to learn more about that physics of sport and how we move.
Yay
Yep.
again.
Yes. So that's what pushed me to do the emphasis in that, in doing my master's. There was actually a few classes with Dr. Poston. I don't actually remember the name of it, but I know his background is strength and conditioning, but he likes the neurophysiology
Yeah.
behind everything.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so that kind of struck my interest too, and I guess was a turning point with me wanting to be like, okay, what's that next step then?
Hmm.
And then when I was talking to those clients, like I had mentioned, when I was working with them doing fitness training and stuff, and then they started bringing out the questions of injuries and how to help. That's kind of when I circled back, and talked to Miss Samuel, who I've had in the past with some of her, early on sports injury management classes. So that's kind of what brought me back full circle to get more information on that.
Oh, I love it. And I mean, that's a good variety of classes. And I think something that you're really speaking strongly about is having a connection with faculty and instructors
Mhm.
and having conversations. You can have, with the remote world, it's a little bit harder, but that's
Yeah.
really neat that you were able to get good counsel from Dr. Samuel and
Mhm.
help guide you on some different pathways.
Yeah, no, that one conversation was just kind of the next step of, well, I'm graduating tomorrow with a master's, but now what can I do to start this next journey? So,
Yeah. Oh, I love it. That's great.
yeah.
So, how do you stay current in your job? I mean, science, sports science is always changing, and different technology is always evolving and available. So, how do you stay current in the type of work that you do?
So I try to read up on many of like the journal articles that come out. I know I have a strength and conditioning one that I'm subscribed for. And as far as, getting on the BOC website to keep up with current stuff that they send out, I recently just got certified last year with dry needling as well,
Oh, good. Yeah.
which I know in the state of Nevada athletic trainers have, the opportunity to be able to do. So mine, I guess I would just say keeping up with those journal articles through, if you want to do it through NADA, you want to do it through the BOC, strength and conditioning, just getting your hands on
Hmm.
everything there. I also have access to MedBridge, which I know they put out little continuing education courses all the time on various different topics. So those are kind of like my immediate, I guess, gateways on keeping current and what's coming out. So,
Oh, that's great. And reading it is
mhm,
always important, and that's great that you use that as a tool. All right, now
mhm,
let's get to see what advice you have for students who are pursuing their
mhm.
degree, undergraduate degree, or maybe a master's degree, or even a PhD. What advice do you have to students as they're going through a program?
It's never too late. Me personally too. I went back again, what, 3 times before I
Uh,
feel like I got it right. Um, but yeah, I would say like just because you're finishing one, that doesn't mean like, oh, that's the end. I've wasted all this time, money. No, I was like, just keep after it, keep going back. Don't ever give up until you find, I guess, that place where you feel like this is where you were meant to be.
Mm. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Mhm,
It's never too late. That's great. It's just you're
mhm,
evolving and you're searching, and that's wonderful. Combined with
mhm.
your passion for sport and helping people, trying to identify that. That's really critical. All right,
Yeah.
fun stuff. What do you like to do outside of work? Where do you what's your fun things to do?
Oh boy. I guess kind of same. I like to do a little bit of everything. To nights in on my couch, just hanging out with my dog. To I like hitting the mountain in the winter. Like the minute the snow hits the ground, I love to go snowboarding. I love to do summer activities like golfing. I love wakeboarding. I love being by the beach.
Yeah.
To just simply hanging out with friends. Like whether we're all going out just to watch a concert one night or just chill at home and just, even if we're sitting in silence texting on our phones not even near each other, just being able to have that balance of work and life. Like
Yeah.
I am big on that. As much as I do like what I do like having that disconnect and that me time. I feel that's so important. So
I love
I would
that.
also encourage that for everybody. Like
Yeah.
do what you love, but then take that time away as well.
I love that because in the sport world that you work in, that's 7 days a week, and it can be, almost 24 hours a day, with
Yep.
tournaments and what have you, and travel and all that.
Hmm.
It can become really time consuming. So I think that's a great message to give out, to still have
Yep.
that work balance. So, and what kind of dog?
Oh, she's a little bit of a mutt. So she is actually a Chihuahua Dachshund Brittany Spaniel mix.
Oh my goodness.
So I'll actually, she's right here, so I'll just grab
Yeah,
her.
I was hoping, oh my goodness, what a cutie.
And she's being good today, huh?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
that's
is
awesome.
Revy.
Well, thank you so much for jumping on this call and talking about what you do and how you got to the type of job that you're in now. I really appreciate you taking the time.
No, I appreciate you asking me. This was awesome. I've always wanted to be on one of these with you, so I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Awesome. Okay, well, hold on 1 second. I'm going to stop everything. So thank you again, and really great to talk with you.
You as well.